Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pary Fassihi from the CIS writing program, and along with my colleague, Dr. Chris McVeigh, who's going to be going after me, we're here to present a couple of research studies that we've done in the writing program that has been with our writing program colleagues and folks from CGS and the Shipley Center. So it's on an AI-intensive writing course, writing pilot study that we did in the writing program and CGS. So in this pilot study, we explored how college writing students, our own included, of course, make use of generative AI when given both permission and support. We basically explicitly encourage students to use ChatGPT. We took it into the classroom. We used ChatGPT for our class activities. We allowed students to use AI-generated text for up to 50% of their paper, of course, with transparency and disclosure. What we were looking to sort of analyze is we did a student chat log analysis of the data because we wanted to find out what chat log data tells us about how students use generative AI in these writing courses. And we also wanted to find out what differences, if any, exist between the English language learners' use of ChatGPT versus the first speakers of English. And overall, the most common uses were revision, clarification, and writing in that order. It was interesting to see that the English language learners, however, prompted less for clarification versus the non-ELL students, which was interesting. And we also found that English language learners prompted more for revision in comparison to non-ELL students. And also the ELL prompts were the way that the English language learners were integrating and using, well, not integrating, but using and prompting ChatGPT was more for writing assistance, while the non-ELL students' prompts were focused more on learning support more than anything. We also took a look at the student essays, right? Because that was a primary data that we had. And we wanted to find out what is the percentage of AI-generated text that students were using in their submitted work and what patterns can we see and how they're using it. And again, we went on to compare the ELL versus non-ELL students and see the difference between AI-generated text integration of ELLs versus first speakers of English. It was interesting. We found that a total of 8.2% of the submitted writing was AI generated. And we had essays that had AI text averaged at about 13.2% of AI generated content. It's important to say that we asked students to disclose by having them change the font color to the part that was AI generated. We found a couple of patterns, and many students used AI selectively and strategically, and we could tell that by how they were incorporating it into their writing. And a majority also retained significant student ownership, even though they had the freedom to go ahead and use AI. A majority of them really did not, or did it at a much less percentage than our policy allowed. So in a nutshell, we found that students use generative AI selectively when given frequent engagement opportunities and when they're encouraged to use it critically, and they reflect on its strengths and its weaknesses. Students employing generative AI made complex decisions to integrate, that AI-generated language into their writing. And essays using AI-generated text were predominantly hybrid compositions, retaining significant student authorship. ELL students prompted generative AI less frequently for clarification. They incorporated less AI-generated text overall and used significantly fewer AI-generated summaries. Just a couple of key takeaways. We believe that instructors should provide targeted instruction on AI for ELL students effectively so that they could effectively use generative AI for comprehension and other language tasks. And the differences between ELL and non-ELL use, it's really important to be mindful that it's not necessarily a skill deficit, but it's that they need more instruction and additional support in using AI. Thank you so much.